Whew. So, welcome back to Shadow the Apple. Welcome back to another episode. We've been very busy, or really, I've been very busy, but we are here to bring you more content about New York sports and Mets and Yankees baseball. So, we are back. We are currently going to be talking about the Mets series against the Padres and the Yankees, another two-game series against a division rival at Yankee
hmm
Stadium.
Yeah, another uh, rain shortened series. I don't know. I mean, for us, it's good. Pushes games back until later in the year when hopefully we'll be more healthy. But um, yeah, it sucks that it's happened twice in such a short span.
Yeah, and then but on I believe it was Friday night or Saturday night. I think it was Friday night, right? Which game got
It
rained out?
was it was Saturday night's game.
Okay, so Saturday night you had Ryan Weathers versus Yankees legend Sonny Gray, and it was a pretty decent pitching duel. Both pitchers played pretty well, but I would say one team cracked before the other.
Yeah, it was back and forth. It was close, but the Red Sox ended up taking that one 5-3. Weathers had another rough start after starting the year really strong. Gave up five through 6 innings, gave up two homers. Ben Rice and Trent Grisham both went deep too, but it wasn't enough. Uh,
Yeah,
um,
a
yeah, I
big
mean,
a big. Mhm.
so much has happened, and like to make a chain of events. But Spencer Jones was called up before this series. He made his he played his first game back, and he went 3 for 3 with an RBI double, his first extra base hit of his career. So
Yeah,
that was
I wrote
good.
that down actually.
Yeah,
And a big reason why the Red Sox got the win was Wilson Contreras. He had a really good game with an
hmm
RBI and a two-run homer.
yeah. I mean, he's been great for them this year. He's been the most consistent offensive player. Roman Anthony. I don't think he's put up best numbers this year, but he's also been hurt for majority of the year. So yeah, Contreras has been carrying them offensively.
Yeah, and then something else I wanted to note was that Chapman, who got the save, hadn't had a save since May 20th, and he's been
Mhm.
13 for 13 this season in saves. So Chapman's been very good. He was really good with the Red Sox last year, and something that I do want to actually ask is, I did see a report that Chapman is on the trading block. So could you see the Yankees and Chapman potentially having a reunion?
Um, Absolutely not. There's no shot. Uh, I don't. Yeah, I mean the Yankees could use an arm like his, but it's just not going to work out. The Yankees aren't going to deal with the Red Sox. Aroldis Chapman isn't really the best human being at all, so it's
I
probably not
mean,
going to happen.
history shows that the Red Sox and the Yankees have dealt before.
Yeah, but I mean, it. I don't. A closer at the deadline to help the Yankees try and win the World Series. That's extremely unrealistic. But
Uh,
yeah, I saw people talking about it, but I don't think it's going to happen at all.
well, I'd argue that it could, especially if you have guys who struggle. I mean, I don't know what's going on. I know David Bednar's been third in saves, but I mean, you could always get better. I feel
Yeah,
like
I
the
mean,
Yankees want to go all in and they want to win a World Series. Like another quote from Mr. Jazz that we'll get into. Um,
yeah, like I said, like they could use an arm like his. That would be
mhm.
amazing. But not him. Not Aroldis Chapman.
Yeah, I mean, look, I do think we'll see. I really think anything can happen with baseball, especially in the trade
Yeah, of
deadline.
course.
Um, so yeah, so that I do wonder where Chapman will go, but that was basically game one. Game two was pretty tight until the eighth inning when the Yankees blew up. Where it was Cam Schlittler versus Ranger Suarez. They both pitched
Yeah,
really well.
yeah. Because of the rain out, the matchups changed. You were originally supposed to get Schlittler versus Conley early, which would have been a rematch of Game Three of the wild card last year. But like you said, it was Ranger Suarez instead. Both starters pitched pretty good. Schlittler went 5 2/3, only gave up one earned run on a probably the defense costed him that run, but it was still an earned run, and he had 5 strikeouts. So he's now at a career 0.83 ERA against the Red Sox, 22 strikeouts compared to two walks. So he still does not like the Red Sox.
And
Um,
when you consider all that adding up, when you consider Ranger Suarez, I mean, he hasn't really pitched well for the Red Sox, correct?
yeah, he's been pretty shaky. He's had
Yeah.
he's had starts where he's given up 5 runs, some starts where he's given up none. He's very inconsistent.
Yeah, so when you consider that, I mean, Ranger Suarez definitely having a bounce back start for the Red Sox, so that's definitely good for them. And it's also good for the Yankees to get a split on this series. I mean, you can't really go wrong with that. And like you said, those games will happen kind of later down the line when potentially teams like the Red Sox could have already been sold a few of their players.
Yeah, and obviously the main storyline. We didn't even touch the Guardian series. Not too much to say there anyway. But the biggest headline for the Yankees last week, obviously, is Aaron Judge's injury.
Yep.
I don't even think we talked about it at all because I don't think it had happened yet, or I don't think we've
Yeah,
even known
it
about
hadn't
it yet.
happened yet. So yeah, I mean, we could talk about it now, sure.
Yeah, so yeah, it was a really odd process. It took a while. He had to go to different doctors. He ended up going to Texas, where we saw someone and found out that it's a first rib stress fracture, which he's going to be out for a while. I'm pretty sure it's going to be about 2 months. They said they'll reevaluate in 4 to 6 weeks. So that's a tough blow, obviously. It's the captain, one of the greatest athletes alive, the king of New York. So that's tough for the Yankees right now. Everybody else is going to have to step it up. But uh, today was obviously people stepped up. Cody Bellinger hit a clutch home run in the eighth inning. Like we were saying, it was close until late. And then Jazz hit one later. So hopefully guys can step it up. You need that. You need Ben Rice to continue having a great year. Cody Bellinger, Stan's going to come back eventually. Jason Dominguez. So yeah, it's tough for the Yankees, but they're a very starting rotation, pitching heavy team. So I think they'll be fine to get through this. Obviously, either way, they're going to make the playoffs most likely. It's just a weak American League this year, so
Yeah, I
it
mean,
sucks. But
it's going to be tough for the king of the Dirty Bronx to come back with all this drama going on in New York City, you know. But I mean, I do think the Yankees will be fine. They're a very well balanced team right now.
mm,
So I really don't think it'll be too big of an issue. And baseball season's so long. And if you want to look at the Yankees stretch, I mean, you're playing teams that you definitely it really could go either way. Like you'll be playing, you'll have two tough series against teams that you've had history with the Guardians, Blue Jays. But then down the line, you'll play the White Sox, who have been better than usual. But then you'll play the Reds, and then later down the Tigers, and that's when I think he'll be back. So, I mean, I do think the Yankees will be fine. They got plenty of depth and talent to keep afloat, and they're only 3 points percentage wise behind Tampa Bay Rays right now.
yeah, they're tied technically by percentage wise for first place.
And
So
mhm.
yeah, so they're sitting at 38 and 26. We'll see what happens in the next 4 to 6 weeks, possibly plus. But yeah, I think they'll be fine. I agree. They have a lot of talent, a lot of depth, and the rotation should hopefully carry them to a bunch of wins.
So I see Luke commented Spurs in 6, but we're gonna get into that series eventually. We're gonna get that towards the end, but we want to talk about the Mets and Yankees first because this is a baseball podcast,
Yeah,
majority. So, um, yeah, like I think the Yankees will did what they needed to do. They definitely are doing what they can to keep afloat, and there's been more talk about I guess Jazz Chisholm. I guess if there's anybody that you could say is controversial in the Yankees, just because of um, his personality, I guess you could say it's Jazz Chisholm. He was on Jimmy Fallon supporting his charity, and he talked about his ultimate goal for the Yankees this season, and he said the ultimate goal for the Yankees win this season is to win World Series. We're in New York. Come on, we're gonna do it. Oh, for sure. So, what do you think, Ryan? Delusional, confident, or both?
I don't think it's. I would say both. I mean, definitely not delusional, but he's overly confident all the time, which rightfully he should be. But yeah, no one else on the team really speaks like that. But I mean, what is he supposed to say? No, I don't think we're going to win the World Series. Like it was an odd, it
Yeah.
was an odd, it was an odd question, and the target audience of the Jimmy Fallon show, they don't really, most of them probably don't really follow baseball too much. They probably won't even know. It was just a weird
What
situation.
what is
Um,
Jimmy Fallon's audience, anyways? Now that you
I
actually mentioned that.
yeah, I feel like it's just pop culture fans, probably an older demographic. I don't know, but I mean, I just can't imagine anyone who was upset with what Jazz said was actually watching the show when it happened.
Have you ever sat down and watched Jimmy Fallon? Like I generally don't think I have at any
No,
point, really.
I've seen clips, I've seen segments, but I don't think I've ever intentionally at
Yeah.
least.
I love watching Jimmy Fallon's clips when he has people on like artists, like they have artists perform like songs on Jimmy Fallon. He's had plenty of artists from Bad Bunny to Childish Gambino, plenty of great artists. Um, there's actually I forget who, but there's a famous rap group. I think it's the is it the Roots? It might be the Roots. He's there. The Roots are their is their live
Yeah,
bands. Whenever they
yeah,
he ever
that
plays
is right.
anything, the Roots are the people that play the music. So that's some little New York history. But overall, the Yankees definitely did what they needed to do. The Red Sox are almost like mirrored records, opposite records. Red Sox are currently in last, so they got plenty of work to do, and they're probably going to be selling at the deadline. Like our next team that we're going to be talking about, the New York Mets, who won a series. Ryan, they won a series.
Congrats. I mean, I guess that is something to celebrate this year. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So overall, um, I, I guess I could kind of talk about the Seattle series a little bit. I just honestly, I only will really talk about it because I stood up all night uh, to see them lose in extra innings, and that sucked. So, but overall, they leave Seattle. They go to San Diego, which, by the way, I would love to see one day. I think it looks like a really nice stadium, and San Diego is probably one of the nicest parts of Cali. So, game one, you had Jared Young with his third home run in 9 games since coming off the IL, and there has been definitely a talk of at this point Jared Young being a better player than Mark Vientos right now. Mark Vientos has been a very very on and off player this year, and it sucks to watch because I love Swaggy V. I always have a soft spot for his 2024 season, and I really did want to buy his jersey at one point, but like I was kind of like, all right, let me wait like another season, like let me see if he's actually legit because he could have just had a one-off season, and he kind of did.
Mm.
So, but
What do you think it is with him? Because I saw a lot of debate about him. He's just like, yeah, I mean, like you said, he's a very on and off player. I saw a clip of a, a pitch he fouled off against Mason Miller. That looked very
yeah,
rough.
yeah, yeah. I think what it is about Mark Vientos, I don't think he's necessarily adjusted his pitching, his hitting philosophy and his eye. Because Mark Vientos, if we're being real, has been the same hitter since 2024. He hasn't grown. Um, like if we're being honest, and this is I don't know if you can agree with this, but I think after a while, pitchers when they do enough scouting and they do enough research on a hitter, they tend to notice their weaknesses when they chase, when they don't
Mm,
chase, what spots do
yeah,
they look to
definitely.
swing at? Yeah, like Mark Vientos, if there is one weakness, is that he likes to fucking chase, whether it's high in the strike zone, or low out. That's low key definitely a weakness he learned from JD Martinez because JD Martinez kind of had that issue too, where he would try to get that outside part of the plate a lot and try to hit from opposite side, and like it worked, I guess, in 2024. But like I said, like these pitchers are getting used to Mark Vientos's like habits, which he chases a lot. Like he definitely chases the ball. I feel like more than usual an average hitter. And it's also been also people have talked about him playing at first base. Like obviously, Mark Vientos is not a traditional first baseman. He really hasn't been a first baseman his whole time with the Mets. It's first base has been a weird spot, I guess, this year. Um, you were supposed to have Polanco play it, and then even though he's not really a first baseman, God, this team. So they they've kind of missed a match, and Vientos is definitely he's had growing pains at first base for sure. So I think that also does not help. But they got the win. They got the win on Friday. Let's talk about Christian Scott again. Once again, Christian Scott looked really good. He got his second win, is now at a 2.50 ERA with a 1.1 wins above replacement. 5 innings, 3 hits allowed, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts, and that slider is looking sexy, Ryan.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen it, but I take your word. Yeah, the starting pitching for the Mets has kind of picked it up a little bit, especially with McLean slacking his last few starts, and after the injury of Clay Holmes.
Yeah, and I want to hear your opinion because I've been gushing about Christian Scott for a few episodes now. What do you see in Christian Scott?
I don't really watch Christian Scott, to be honest, so I can't really tell you. I just know from what you say. Just to be honest, I'm not gonna lie here.
All right, well, I'll tell you that Christian Scott is starting to definitely be a consistent starter in this rotation. He I think as time goes on and he starts to get healthier and his arm starts to uh I guess season up because he's coming off an injury. So I think that could be a reason why he's only been going 5 innings each game. But in the 5 innings he's been playing, I mean he's been pretty dominant. He's been pretty consistent, and I'd say he's like you said he's been pretty important to this rotation with Nolan McLean kind of having a little bit of a slump.
Yeah, of course. Obviously, I mentioned Clay Holmes too. He was really great. Yeah. So
And then
I mean,
Luis Torrens.
you'll
Yeah,
take
go
it.
ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, obviously, with those situations in mind, and the Mets obviously not performing up to their standards and with injuries, of course, you'll take that. Uh, hope it continues, of course, for all the Mets fans.
Yeah, I'd say honestly, if you're the Mets right now, you're definitely looking at Christian Scott, and you're definitely looking at a true number 2 pitcher to Nolan McLean in the future. But we'll definitely get to that later. Um, but Luis Torrens had his first home run in 2026. The bench mob really stepping up for the Mets, you could say. Um, and overall, they looked really strong. They ended up getting the win 5-0. And they looked really good, and they had won 2 in a row. The next game though, the Mets lost. They had definitely I would say a bounce back game from Nolan McLean. After the 2 starts he's had, you definitely wanted to see Nolan McLean get back to what we've been seeing in the past, and it was a pretty close game. So I guess some of the biggest plays was Luis Torrens having a fake throw to get Tatis out in the 5th and chasing him down. Marcus Simeon with the homer to get the Mets back into it. And we'll talk about Marcus Simeon more because he's had a really good road trip overall for the New York Mets. But unfortunately, or Austin Warren, who's been really good with the Mets, coming down to AAA, gave up a 2-run homer to Freddie Fermin, and he had just to put in perspective, Freddie Fermin had 0 home runs and 121 plate appearances until this weekend.
Hmm.
So he's had 2 home runs against the Mets. So just our luck, I guess. But they, Austin Warren gives up a home run. Soto had a chance to take the lead or potentially tie the game. Hits a line drive right to second and gets a double play. So it just wasn't really the Mets night, unfortunately. Even though it definitely was a potential, definitely could have won the game. It definitely could have potentially sweep the Padres. But you'll take a series winning. You'll take a 500 road trip. Main things was that the Mets had home runs from Marcus Simeon, MJ Melendez, and then Carson Bench, who was 5 for 5 with multiple RBIs on the day. Carson Bench having the best game of his career.
Yeah, in the last episode, we had talked about the Mets veterans in the lineup have to, take over and start hitting up to what they're expected to do. If the Mets are going to start winning some ball games, and in the last, this is you mentioned Marcus Simeon, I was going to mention him as well. In his last 10 games, he's hitting 278. He's got 4 homers and 6 RBI. So
Yeah,
he's
and
not
then
he's not
mhm.
the name that we would expect. You'd expect other guys to do it, but obviously you'll take that. That's huge. Huge upgrade for him the way he's been playing this year, especially, and to have that
Yeah,
in the lineup, hopefully he can keep up at least
yeah,
half of
yeah.
that.
And I want to get into the specifics of Marcus Simeon for sure. Let's definitely dive into him. So over the 6 game West Coast trip with against the Seattle Mariners and the Padres, this is according to AI, but he's batted 261 with the 3 home runs, the 3 RBIs, 3 walks, and the 4 runs scored with a 346 on base percentage and a 609 slugging percentage during the trip. So I mean he's been very good. I think the biggest thing and I honestly would disagree with you, Ryan, about not expecting Marcus Simeon. I think with the trade, I think a lot of Met fans were expecting Marcus Simeon to be at least somewhat close to his 2023 self, or at least the bat, at least the
Yeah,
bat. Not
that's
like because his obviously his fielding is still there, but his bat
mhm.
has been super weak all year. But I think the biggest difference right now with Marcus Simeon is that he's not trying to necessarily um just hit the ball and put anything in play and see what happens, because that hasn't been working for him. But now he's really trying to hit the ball out the park. And if I'm going to go back to Marcus Simeon in his 2023 season, which was his best year of the year, um the Texas Rangers won the World Series.
Mhm.
He was he led the American League in hits and runs scored, and he had 29 home runs. So he was not afraid of hitting the long ball in 2023. So if there's any specialty when it comes to Marcus Simeon when he hits well, it is the long ball. So I'm happy we're finally seeing Marcus Simeon play like the guy we traded for. He actually has more homers than Brandon Nimmo now, and I think if you want to check that, I saw someone say that on Twitter. I'm not sure if it's true actually, but um, overall, Marcus Simeon, you want that. You want that out of Marcus Simeon for sure.
Yeah, it's interesting. You say when he tries to, hit homers and swing for power, that he hits better. I mean that's interesting because that's usually the opposite for most hitters. Usually, a lot of hitters look to level their swing and try and just make contact, and that's when they'll start going on some hot streaks. But I mean, obviously, the numbers show that it's working for him right now. And with the trade, I guess I was thinking of it. What you said makes sense. I was thinking of it from an outside point of view.
Mm-hmm.
Marcus Simeon hasn't really had the best 2 last seasons, but his 2023 season was great, and before that with Toronto, he was good. So yeah, I guess that does make sense. Um, I would just when you look at all the veterans on the roster, you have Soto, Bichette. He's not really, in my eyes, he wasn't the top guy who you expect to step up. But of course, you'll take it. It's production from a guy who hasn't really done much this year.
Yeah, and when you consider guys like Lindor potentially coming back later this week, or sorry, later this month, he's expected to come back during the third week. And the Mets, I think right now, it's hard to tell because like I feel like if time is running out for sure. There's not much time before I think this team starts to pull the plug on them, because and I think they're right now I feel like they're just kind of playing kind of like middle of the pack right now. They're not playing bad per se, but they're not necessarily playing the best. They're kind of just getting by right now, and that's not something you can really do when you are a few games under 500 to say the least. You're 26 and 39, so but I do think um if they could just stay afloat for a little bit longer, maybe this week, you win a series or two. Now you have to sweep. If you just win, if you take 2 out of 3 against some of these teams, you'll play the Cardinals next. Um, I think I think this team could maybe get back to 500 by the All-Star break, and then we'll see. So, but there's a lot of things that have to happen. You're still waiting on Alvarez to come back as well. You have Luis Robert on the 60-day IL. There's definitely a lot of things that do need to happen. I would love to see Lindor come back though, because I think if there's anyone that could bring a boost to this team again, it's Lindor.
Yeah, of course, obviously. Um, with the Mets they dug themselves a huge hole to start the year. How they played. So yeah, just staying afloat right now works. But once you get these big names back, the more you don't do above 500 now, the more you're going to have to make up later in the year. And come the end of July, when the trade deadline comes around, you'll have to see what they're going to do. If they're going to trade, they're going to. I mean, obviously they're going to trade. Are they going to trade away? Or are they going to try and add? Um, yeah. So, like you said, time's ticking, but they've dug themselves a hole, but they're playing better right now. We'll have to see what goes on with that. But yeah, hopefully the schedule's in their benefit too.
Yeah, and I was thinking about this, and I was really thinking about what I saw about Freddie Peralta. Freddie Peralta, according to reports, is currently seeking an extension close to what Max Fried got, and or
Mhm.
a contract that Max Fried got. And personally, I just don't think the Mets are going to give Freddie Peralta that kind of contract.
Yeah, I don't think there's any shot, to be honest, he gets that from any team. But
Five inning
I
Freddie
mean,
is not getting a
it,
contract like that.
it's yeah. I mean, of course you want to shoot high, like you said, Jazz. His quotes, one of the ones obviously he said he wants to go 50-50. That's not going to happen either. So yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, it's it's a lot to ask, but I mean, if he has a great second half, who knows? Maybe a team desperate enough will give him that contract. But I don't see it being the Mets.
yeah. I don't think it's the Mets either. I think, and also when you consider Freddie Peralta hasn't been like I kind of called it. Like I feel like I kind of was talking about this. I don't know if you remember me talking about this, but I didn't think Freddie Peralta was all that. Like I think he's still a good pitcher, but I don't think he's all that. Like I don't think it's what Met fans advertised.
Yeah, I mean he has the veteran presence in the rotation, and along with obviously being an ace in Milwaukee, but he hasn't been that for the Mets. He's probably their number three right now.
Yeah,
So yeah,
yeah.
it's yeah, I don't
And
know.
that's
I
not
mean,
a
being the
bad.
number
That's not a bad thing. That's not a bad
yeah,
thing.
I mean it's just the expectations he had coming to Queens was to be the ace, and he's not. He hasn't been really close to that. So
Yeah, and like I don't know, like if you look at his stats as in Milwaukee too, he doesn't really have ace numbers. Like he's good. Like it's just like it's not like a Jacob DeGrom or like a Max Fried or like someone that like is like bona fide ace, like top pitcher in Major League Baseball.
yeah, I remember when there was talks of him being traded. A lot of Yankees fans wanted him. A lot of people were saying the Yankees have a shot. I mean, of course, I would have liked him because he's a great starting pitcher, but they went the route of Ryan Weathers instead, which I think ultimately was the smarter move. Um, yeah, when I was looking at his numbers too, I agreed with what you just said. I didn't think he had like ace numbers. He didn't have like Garrett Cole numbers or Max Fried numbers, but um, I mean, yeah, that's where he's at now, and it's a big ask, but we'll see how the rest of his season goes, and maybe he'll be lucky and the team will give him what he wants in the winter.
And speaking of the Mets, I have a big announcement for the podcast. So whenever you're ready, Ryan, you can
Hmm.
give me a drum roll.
Okay.
I'm going to my first Mets game this year.
Wow. Which one?
So I am going to Mets versus Cardinals on Tuesday, on a Tuesday
Okay.
night. I got free tickets from my sister's job. My sister got a hookup. So we will be going to the Mets game. We're gonna be sitting pretty high up, but we're sitting right behind home plate. So it's
That's
pretty
nice.
dope. I'll take it. It's free
Hmm.
tickets, and you
Yeah,
know
free,
what?
of course.
I'm not spending money on this Mets team because they're not worth my money. So honestly, I'll take it. And it's also a $5 hot dog night, so everything's a lot cheap. Is really cheap on Tuesday.
Yeah, I mean that's a bonus. If you buy hot dogs, you'll still be giving the Mets money, but at least it won't be full
Right.
price.
But yeah, it won't be full price. So, I'll take it, bro. It's gonna be. I'll be in New York on Tuesday. I also will be on New York on Monday for the Knicks watch party at Central Park. For Knicks Spurs.
That's cool. Sure, the
Yeah,
vibes there are gonna be insane.
yeah. I mean, it's a great time to not only be a Knicks fan, but also just be in New York. Like I'm seeing people that I've never seen associate with the Knicks being outside Madison Square Garden, being outside the streets of Manhattan. Just people like I saw this person who was watching that she went to New York and she was on like literally on the streets and people were watching it on a projector, like on like the wall.
I did see something like that. Yeah,
Yeah, so like it is I mean, it's unfathomable to see not only the Knicks uh go on this run. And not only, I mean, they've won, to put it in perspective, they've won 13 games in a row. I mean, they're gonna. I feel like if they win tomorrow, and God forbid they win a sweep, I think we have to talk about this Knicks team as one of the greatest NBA runs of all time, maybe one of the greatest NBA teams of all time. When you consider how well they played, the competition they faced, um, and the games they've won. So I mean, I think this Knicks team is incredible, but it's also incredible to see how the city has been united. I mean, I can't go anywhere, whether I'm at the gym, whether I'm going to Wawa, seeing Knicks gear, telling somebody let's go Knicks, talking to them about the series, talking to them about the games. Like it's truly been incredible to see how the city has united. And I mean, watching the crowd and watching the huge crowd outside Madison Square Garden, outside MSG, you got people blowing bubbles, people shooting water guns, you got people on top of buildings. Like it is just, it is so incredible to see how the Knicks have united this city.
yeah. I feel like um almost like there's a lot of I don't want to say bandwagons, but like I almost feel for people like you who watched the Knicks for so long when they were so terrible to get to this point and have just so many people, like you said, who you've never seen associate with the Knicks. All of a sudden, they're the biggest Knicks fans in the world.
Yeah, no, it is pretty. I mean, like it is what it is that there's bandwagons. I mean, they didn't see Emmanuel Mudiay be the Knicks point guard for 28 in 2018. I don't think they went through the trenches like a lot of Knicks fans like me did. But you know what? At this point, like whatever. Like the fact though that like all these people, the fact that crime rate in New York City has hit a record low, and I don't think that's entirely because of the Knicks, but I'm gonna say it's partly because of the Knicks. The fact
Yeah,
that the the city has united and gone behind the Knicks like that. I haven't seen the city this united in a really long time. Like genuinely. Like I'd say this New York City was pretty like awesome when like COVID started to end and like people started being outside. Um but like honestly, I haven't seen people in New York City haven't been this united since a really long time. And the fact that the Knicks have brought in uh the city so much joy. You got people. I mean, it's just a cultural thing. Like to see the Knicks and all the Knicks fans, like the whole city watching it. Whether you are on Seventh Avenue, while you're actually going to the games, and let's talk. I mean, those prices are ridiculous, dude. I mean, those prices, like the fact that it's 11K just to get in.
yeah, it's
Um,
insane.
yeah, it's we've the fact that the Knicks game is more expensive than the World Cup final. I mean, people were complaining about the World Cup prices, which I'm very excited for. I'm really excited for the World Cup next week. Um, I don't know if we'll talk about that. I think I might if it does. I mean, there's a chance that if the Knicks do play 6 games, which I hope it doesn't, but there's a chance that France and Senegal could play the same day as the Knicks and the Spurs. So that Penn Station would be pretty crazy.
Yeah,
But
technically the World Cup is a New York sport right now, so it does
y-
count.
Yeah, I could imagine being a tourist right now, or literally just trying to enjoy New York outside of this. Like, I saw someone riding a cab, and like there's just a bunch of Knicks fans just blocking the taxi and getting on the taxi and taking selfies on the taxi. Like, it's pretty insane. Like, you got people getting arrested. It's incredible. I don't know what will happen if the Knicks somehow go up 3-0. I mean, I'll be there. I'll be in the streets of 7th Avenue. Like, I'll be outside the Garden coming back home if they
I
do
mean,
go.
win or lose, we're going to see a lot of similar reactions in the city.
Yeah, it's incredible. It sucks that we're not gonna get a watch party outside MSG because of a certain someone, but overall, it's been very exciting to see just how united the city is. Like, I mean, all these different people watching all over the city, watch parties, bars, restaurants. Like, it's just been incredible. Like, I don't, and I honestly, it amazes me because like I don't think any other New York team does this. Like, I when the Mets went on the run they did, like, it was big, like it was exciting, but it was more of like a fan base thing. It wasn't more like the whole city was behind the team. Like,
Yeah,
and you
I
can
was gonna. You can go. You can
Mhm.
finish. I'm sorry.
Yeah, like I haven't seen the Mets do this. The I haven't seen the Yankees. I don't think I've seen any other team but the Knicks do this, and it's been incredible to watch.
Yeah, like sports is one of the main factors that could bring people together, communities together, or in this case, obviously, a whole city or whole area. To be honest, I mean, it's happening in New Jersey too. But with, like you said, you haven't seen it with other teams because the split is so different. There's Yankees, Mets fans, Giants, Jets fans, Rangers, Devils, Islanders fans. Not the split with Knicks and Nets isn't really as close as the
Existent.
other sports are.
Yeah, it's very non-existent in my opinion. And I think I just think it's very special. I think I remember seeing the clips of game two and like people watching outside game two, and like it got me emotional because I'm just thinking like, and like I think the thing about the Knicks too is that I think another big reason why this is happening too is just that Knicks fans are just so diehard. And I think Knicks fans are really hungry because the Knicks have been pretty good for a few years now. Like, I think we could say that at this point. Like, the Knicks have had some really good teams these last few years.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been getting progressively better, and I feel like at this point we've been knocking on the door, for at least these last 2 seasons now. So the fact that we're finally here, um, and this team, the Knicks haven't won a championship in a really long time. So I really think this also another big reason is that this fan base is super hungry.
Yeah, last year with the Celtic series, that was crazy. That was obviously a big story. I was all over the place, but it doesn't match this.
Yeah, nah, it's a incredible level. And we're really just talking about the experience. We haven't really talked about like the games per se. I mean, we've been talking for about 38 minutes now, so I'll keep it a little short. But the first game was, the craziest part about this, I feel like the Knicks really haven't even played to their full potential in this series yet. Like, they played pretty bad, if we're being honest, in the first game, and they kind of just really clutched up. Cat was really consistent in this series. Cat has been great. He has guarded Wemby well. He's attacked Wembanyama really well. Um, they've definitely struggled to hit threes on a consistent basis. I feel like they were missing a lot of threes in that first game, but the fourth quarter, the king of New York himself, Jalen Brunson, woke up, got the Knicks the win, and then on Friday, they almost blew it. Like, my heart was racing watching that game, and the fact that Dylan Harper, New Jersey,
Mm-hmm.
was like the only person to really step up and really not be afraid of the Knicks really shows something. I mean, as someone, I mean, I don't know if you really remember Dylan Harper because I mean, you were obviously. If I mean, I don't know if we really talked about this on the podcast. Or we really talked about us when it comes
Yeah.
to what we've done in the past with broadcasting New Jersey basketball, high school New Jersey basketball. But as for I could say for me, um, as someone who was following New Jersey basketball for a while, and eventually following Don Bosco Prep and Dylan Harper. I mean, Dylan Harper has been NBA ready since his senior year of high school. Like watching Dylan Harper in high school was incredible because he just like it was so evidently clear he was so much better than everybody else and he was so NBA ready than everybody else. And in college it was like that too. So I'm definitely if there's any positive I could say about the Spurs, the only nice thing I'll say about the Spurs is that I'm happy Dylan Harper's doing well and it's good to see him show up. Obviously big Rutgers guy as well. So um but yeah, overall they clutched it up. They made the Spurs. I'd say if there's really only one weakness they really have is that they're very turnover heavy. They do cause a lot of turnovers. Wembanyama throwing that ball behind Stephon Castle. There was also the incident in game one. I don't know if you saw the fan trying to go up and take a picture of Wemby.
Yeah, I did. That was I don't know why he angled his phone that way. Doesn't make no
Yeah,
sense.
I feel like he should have like kind of came in with the idea that Wemby's like 7'5", and you would have had to like at least like I don't even know either go like high up or go down, and then maybe have Wemby look down. But like he clearly wasn't thinking before taking that picture, and
And to spend all that
really,
money just to run on the
yeah,
court and get banned from every
not even
NBA
get a
stadium
good
doesn't seem
picture.
worth it either.
It wasn't even a good picture. It was you pay all that money to go to a Spurs finals game, and now you can't go to any NBA arena at all. So it is, and the fact that he did it in the like crunch time of the game, like he did it with like 5 minutes left,
Yeah,
and
I don't know.
if you looked back on that possession, the Dylan Harper and the Spurs turned it over, and they did a jump ball, and the Spurs eventually got the ball. So it low-key screwed the Knicks over too. So, um, I it was a pretty interesting watch, I guess you could say. But overall, they got the job done. And this team is they're so fucking locked in. I mean, they've reporters have asked about um I've asked about this series and how they're going up 2-0 in MSG. And every time I they've said anything, they've kind of just been like this series, as far as I'm concerned, is 0-0. They're kind of they don't really care about the past. They don't care about the 13 game winning streak. They're just kind of going one game at a time. And I mean, that's a great mindset to have, that they're locked in. They're not satisfied until they get that win. They get the dub, until they get the series win and they clinch an NBA championship.
Yeah, they're answering the questions much better than Jazz Chisholm would.
Yeah. I think Jazz Chisholm also, I think, has a little different personality than some of these Knicks. I think the Knicks are very humble. Like they don't really have they don't necessarily have a player on their team that is like I wouldn't say a guy that would piss you off, like a guy that you need to like get in the other team's head. They definitely do have players for that. They have gritty players, but they definitely don't have a player that is willing to get on the mic and cut a WWE promo.
Mhm.
So, but game 3 is tomorrow. Uh, First game, finals game at the Garden since 1999, when they played the Spurs in '99, and that was the last time they've been to the NBA Finals. So, you know, um, I can only hope for the best, bro. I'm really excited. I can't wait to be in the city tomorrow. I can't wait to get the Knicks fever experience. I saw those clips on Friday, and I was like, I had to go. I was like, I have to go. I don't. This is a once in a lifetime experience, Brian.
Yeah, I completely understand it. I mean, it's also, I would say, perfect chance to try and get some footage for whatever. I don't know. I mean, that would be pretty cool. I'm not advising you go to interviews because that could get interesting, but just
Um,
just like filming the vibes around, that would be awesome.
yeah, I'm definitely gonna cut some videos. I'm definitely gonna take my flicks. I'm gonna get my fit ready for the Knicks. I got my I don't know if I should. I think I want to rock my Amari Stoudemire jersey. I have a Stoudemire jersey and a Brunson jersey, but I probably will rock the Stoudemire jersey because that jersey
Everyone's
is,
going to be wearing Brunson.
yeah. I think actually, you know what? We could show the podcast because this is a vintage Nick jersey. So
Yeah.
you could tell it's a little bit of an older jersey, but I'm definitely gonna rock that. So overall, man, I to wrap it up on a nice bow, um, the energy in New York City has been incredible. This is truly, I think, I think people are gonna look back on this time. I think people are gonna talk about New York City in June of 2026, like how they talk about New York City in like 1999 when there was like the moon landing, when there was like the Mets, the Knicks, and the Jets were all winning championships. Um, all those things that were going on during that time, like people talk about, like people, like old people talk about that time. Where I feel like we are going to be talking about this time, like something like that, like summer of 2016 kind of vibes, bro. Like when you consider all the things that are going on, and not just the Knicks, the World Cup, just the summer starting, all
Hmm.
these things that are going on in New York City, like it's just an incredible time to be in the city right now.
Yeah, I mean, bearing a very unfortunate turn in the series, things would be talked about differently. But yeah, I mean, I agree. It's definitely some of the most, I don't even know like what the right word for it would be, but just
Historic.
yes, yeah, historic and exciting like moments and just vibes around for sure.
Yeah, man. So that will do it on this episode. We had a lot to talk about on all three of our all three of the teams that are currently playing right now in New York City, and it's incredible that the Knicks are still playing. So, our next episode will be I after but after games 3 and 4, I believe, because the Mets will play on Tuesday, Thursday, and yeah, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So yeah, so it will be after games um 3 and 4. So next episode we could potentially be talking about the New York Knicks being NBA champions. So we'll see where we're at on Thursday, and I can't wait, man.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
once
the episode could be very different. It could go one way or the other.
Yeah, it definitely will be a different episode. It will definitely be very Knicks centered. I think if the Knicks do go on to sweep the Spurs. So yeah, that will do it for us on this podcast. Great episode, I feel like. So once again, this is Ryan Grameyer. This is Dylan Motez. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let's go Mets and let's go Knicks.